A look behind the scenes now at one of the UAE's best-known job websites, Bayt.com. Very pleased to welcome to the studio Rabea Ataya, CEO of Bayt.com. Rabea, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Brandy.
Now, you guys have been going for around 10 years now. I can actually remember your launch at JITEX a decade ago. A lot of people in blue and yellow T-shirts running around dressed up as clowns for some reason or other. How big is Bayt.com today?
So in terms of the number of people we serve, we're currently serving about 4.75 million professionals who put their CV on the site. We're serving about 30,000 employers. We have about 250 employees, and we're spread across 12 offices in the region. So quite substantial.
And one of the things that was different about Bayt.com from the very start is that you kind of don't get in the way. You don't get in the middle of the recruitment process. You've kind of got no desire to actually facilitate it. You let the job hunters get in touch directly with employers and vice versa. Why did you decide on that as a model?
So our biggest issue when we started was we would travel the region and find lots of very qualified people who continually complained about their inability to find a job because they believed the intermediaries weren't serving their best needs. Similarly, employers felt that most traditional recruiting sources were not able to truly bring to them what they were looking for. And we figured the internet allowed for the removal of the intermediary. It allowed for both employer and job seeker to be empowered to get what they want when they wanted and to communicate directly.
I'm not sure how empowered you'd be when you're 1 in 4.75 million looking for a job. That's an awful lot of CVs. I mean, you might think, well, your chances aren't very high of finding a job. Yeah. So how does it work? I mean, if I'm looking for somebody, do I have keywords that I have to put in and then it will go to those relevant people and I drill down?
So there are two types of professionals who are on the site. They're the active job seekers who are right now actually looking for a job, and they're those who are passive, who are on the database, not necessarily because they're out of a job right now, but because they'd like to see if some sort of opportunity would come their way. Employers have one of two choices in using the site. They can actually post a job and allow for active job seekers to apply to them, or they can search the database using keywords and try and hunt out the passive job seekers. And so for the active job seekers, as long as they remain active, the chances are pretty good. If you're passive, obviously you're sitting around waiting for opportunity to come your way. But that being said, we know that there are several 100,000 people every year who get their jobs through Bayt.com, and those are very significant numbers.
Several 100,000?
Several 100,000.
Can you be precise on that figure?
No, because we do not charge on the completion, but we, for every single job post on Bayt.com, survey our employers and ask them if they've hired through the process. And we keep track of these statistics. And in the last year, we've had over 200,000 that we're certain got employed through Bayt.com. So those are sizable numbers. And if you compare us to any other recruiting method in the region, we by far outdo anyone else or any other form of recruiting in terms of matching opportunity and talent.
The fact that you don't charge on completion, doesn't that limit your own revenue possibilities? Yes and no. We might be able to charge more if we charged on completion. However, we would not be able to scale our business as rapidly as we have. The fact that we're currently able to serve at any moment in time over 30,000 employers and 4.75 million job seekers is testament to the fact that if we get out of the way, more people can self-serve themselves, and as a result, there are more transactions being made.
I'm interested in these 4.75 million people. Where are they all, for goodness sake, sitting there hoping that you're going to find a job for them?
They're all over the world, and again, some of them aren't necessarily looking for a job right now, but if you look, we have over 20% of our database is in Europe and North America, which has always come as a surprise to us. There's a significant portion of it that comes from Asia, but the vast majority, about 60% of the people on Bayt are currently residing in what's traditionally known as the MENA region, Middle East and North Africa. And I mean, it's interesting you ask about this figure. We always joke that if we were a country, we'd be the second largest country in the GCC right now. And if we were a labor population, because everyone at Bayt is in the labor population, we're a close second to Saudi and perhaps might overtake them within the year.
Well, continuing that analogy then, what is contributing to your GDP? How do you make your revenue?
So
The primary sources of revenue historically at Bayt have been charging employers subscriptions to either search the database or to post their jobs, to advertise their jobs. Those form by far the majority of our revenue stream. But today we actually have become quite diversified as a business, and there are several other revenue streams. Amongst them, for example, is given that we're so highly trafficked, we are a very significant advertising medium today for non-job based type of promotion. So if you were to visit Bayt.com, you'll find a lot of advertising on the site that's specifically targeted to the audiences that are visiting us.
Well, you have launched a number of sort of new product areas, new business lines this year. You've had some virtual events, some virtual job fairs. Why are you doing that? Why are you branching out, and what areas are you branching out into?
So our mission statement from the very start at Bayt.com was we wanted to empower people in the region with tools and information to build a better lifestyle. We call that lifestyle engineering. And we figured that the first step in building a better lifestyle was locating a better job, because ultimately our lifestyles are determined significantly by how much money we make. But beyond that, we want to make educated choices. So as Bayt, we've this year decided to, given the growth and the size of the business, to really focus on offering our professionals a lot more. So some of the services that we've launched a regional classified site called Zadeal.com. As of yesterday, it already had over 30,000 listings, so that's been moving quite aggressively. We launched a salary product this year. We're getting over 600 salary data points a day. We currently have over 80,000 salaries. And what this salary product allows anyone to do is to go in and determine what their salary is in comparison to the market. So any of us can go in, type in the occupation that we're currently in, and find out what the salary ranges are.
I'm sure a lot of people would love to do that this morning. What's the website again?
It's you can actually, by going onto Bayt.com, there's a tab right at the top of the site that says salaries, and it's a very interesting product because it
Could
is
be a few dissatisfied people out there today.
Sorry? It's been going on for the last 6 or 7 months, but it's very interesting seeing what the results are. It's the divergence in the market, how broad the salary ranges are.
Are those real salaries? Or those people sort of saying, this is how much I earn?
So the beauty of it is people saying, this is how much I earn. But because we have now such a large number of data points, if you look at it, it's if someone puts a figure that's out of whack, you're quickly able to realize that, because it's ultimately the law of averages. If you have 10 people who are saying the salary at this company for
100,000 a month plus a Maserati for a company car,
you'll see that very, very quickly. And as a result, we're able to easily and quickly moderate this. And we feel it's much more accurate than any other salary product out there, because it does depend on the law of large numbers. We're expecting to have, by the end of the year, probably around 200 to 300,000 data points on the salary product. And that will really allow you to go in there and accurately test what salaries are.